congratulations, because this is your directorial feature debut, right?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
So quite challenging, because I feel like half of the film was in water.
Yeah, that's right. We got wet. It is challenging. It's very challenging actually to shoot not only underwater, but also on the water and by the water. The water has, it's obviously dynamics, and then being on the boat has a different rhythm, and then having a camera on some stand on the boat has a different movement, and the actors within this shot have a yet different movement. So to capture all of that safely and good is a challenging task, but I think we managed. I always look at the movie and I think, wow, no one died.
Good thing. Which of the water scenes was the most challenging for you?
It was very challenging to shoot at night in the cave. It was a real cave, and it was on a small island by Dubrovnik. And at night it was a little bit cold, and it felt very scary. And it was the first time that I used lighting underwater during the night. So of course the whole world looks a little bit differently when you watch it from that perspective. It was very exciting. I think that true environment really contributed to the scene.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite scenes was the diving scene where you have Javi and Julia underwater, and it looks like they're doing this like waltz underwater.
Yes, that was also a challenging scene. That was also quite challenging scene, because actually we were shooting at the real depth, not 40 meters, but we were shooting at 10, which I'm not sure what is it in feet. Is it possible that it's 30 feet or something like that underwater?
That's
It was quite deep, yes. So basically, you do not surface out to shoot the scene. Once you dive in, you are there for 40, 50 minutes shooting the scene. And we dived only a couple of times a day because of safety and changing the pressure. So it was very difficult to communicate, and it was very real once we did shoot it.
So none of the underwater scenes were in a tank. It was out in the ocean?
Yes, all of them were on real location.
That's brilliant. You really dived into a challenge for yourself, didn't you?
I like to jump off the cliff.
Did you jump off a cliff while shooting?
Of course, I did. I prepared for it since I'm probably 10, jumping off the cliffs. So that environment and the water is really in my blood.
So do you have any similarities to Julia?
I think so. Yeah, I think resilience, that's something that I try to remember, that level of resilience in my blood that I had at 16. Something, the first thing that the life kicks out of you,
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you did direct a little bit about you in there.
I think that the character, yes, her desire to leave the small community and to have a bigger dreams is something that I relate to, because I left Croatia to study in a French school in Canada when I was probably 16. And then I came back, I studied in Croatia, and then I moved to New York. So yes, there was always like this desire and the sense of the best is yet to come, mm-hmm. that moves you forward. And I think Julia has that.
Mm-hmm. Now it looks like she's living in paradise, but mm-hmm. it's interesting because there's a line where it says dreams die in paradise. What's your take on that?
It's true. It's true. Paradise is quite utopian and not changing, always on the surface seems satisfying, but how can we evolve and grow in such environment?
Mm-hmm.
To dream means to build and to create. And there's no need to create there.
Mm-hmm. This was an international cast. I'm curious to know how you got Cliff Curtis.
Oh, I just discovered light. Did you notice that? There's a button and there's a little bit of light coming. Cliff Curtis. Yes, I watched him in a film when I was quite young. Once Were Warriors. But then the movie that really inspired me was Dark Horse. It's a New Zealand movie that he made a couple of years before. And I got in contact with him through his agents, and he loved the script. He felt there was some numerological connections to it as well. And he had a lot to say about Javier, and he came to Croatia.
You had English, even Spanish in there. What was the purpose for having his character sing a Spanish song with the guitar?
I really like that song. It speaks of returning to 17. It's by Violeta Parra. And the character does not need to be necessarily Spanish to go to that the place. You know, I also sing Violeta Parra, not so well like Cliff. But yes, I felt that somehow that song the best depicts what Julija feels. Mm-hmm. I wanted to put it in a song, in a film against all odds.
Julia's father, I really wanted to try to find something good, but it was really hard.
He lives in nature. Yes, well, that is he's a desperate man, and I think that when men are unfulfilled and desperate, and women, they can turn dark. And I don't have empathy for him, but I do understand his motivations. Mm-hmm. If I can say that. And I think that he's very close to many men in Croatia and around the world. I would not, judge only Croatia so harsh, because I hear the same comments from my friends in Korea and in South America and in US and in Denmark. I would say all around the world.
Mm-hmm. And there was an interesting scene, the one in the shower, bathroom scene between Julija and Nella, daughter mother talk. And I found it interesting how you have Nella taking a shower, kind of like strips, and it's like that scene where it's like you're on the open, you're gonna talk about what you have to say, even if it hurts.
I think that what was very interesting to me is this nakedness between these two women, because they are not mother and daughter. They are two sisters, and two women similar in age can easily be naked, literally and emotionally, in that way in front of each other. I always thought this is how they are close with their body. This is how they are close in age. They shower together. They get dressed together. They share these emotional turmoils, even though Julija very often assumes she understands everything because they are sharing everything, but there is a little bit yet gap of time.
And do you know if there was a potential different ending to this film?
Actually, no. I remember exactly how I wrote this ending, and it's been always the same. It says, she's swimming and we don't know where, but we know she will arrive somewhere.
And that swimming long scene, was that like one shot, ongoing shot, or did you combine? Because that was a long swim. I was actually staying the credits, kind of like waiting.
I did combine a little bit, but just a little.
Brilliant. I liked it. It definitely leaves the viewer wondering and going their imagination.
Thank you. That was my intention, not to, spoon feed the emotions and let everybody put in themselves.
Mm-hmm. So is there something you can share or talk about that you're working on after this?
Yes, I cannot tell us too much because I'm still figuring it out myself, but I am working on a feature film that is based in New York and then moves to a different location, most probably Mexico. And as always, my films are very much dealing with intimate relationships between parents and children. So this time I am depicting dynamics between mother and daughter.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait. Mexico, my motherland. You're sticking to the international concept.
Yes, I love Mexico. I spent almost 4 months there during COVID, and I did some location scouting, and I feel very excited about this new journey.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully I get to talk to you for that project again.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Have a good day.
You too, thank you.